Hi, I'm Luke and I'm from Doncaster for my sins, but I live and work in London. When I first joined, I wasn't actually, I was kind of already doing reasonably well. Like I'd done a couple of mentorships, I'd kind of gone already high ticket, or I'd raised my prices. But I think the thing with what I was doing then is what I'd focused on loads was all the marketing. So I'd looked at Facebook ads and that kind of stuff, and probably too soon. I didn't really have my avatar defined. I didn't know who I was trying to target. I didn't know who I was marketing to. Not really anyway. I thought I did, but I didn't. I had a decent service. I was making reasonable money, getting people decent results, but it felt like it could fall over at any point. And also I'd done no sort of self-development or got my head around why I was charging what I was charging and all the rest of it. So I think my biggest thing was worrying about, or concerns around, where do I take it from here, how does it grow, what can I do with it? And then that was the point at which I joined the internship. So I wasn't just transitioning from being a PT. I'd already been doing online for a bit. I'd raised my prices, but I was I don't quite see where I can take it and what I want to do next. And probably not a lot of self-belief in what I was doing. I was I was charging at the time 1,500 quid for a package, but I don't know if I quite believed in what I was doing, if that makes sense. I was definitely tied up too much in my self-worth, and if I got a sale, if I didn't get a sale, and then if I didn't for a bit, and then going, oh, I'm a shit really, or have I messed up, or am I good enough to sort of get the results that I want? And I wasn't really, I'd done absolutely zero self-development before starting the internship, so I hadn't done any sort of self-reflection. It was just the mentorship that I was in before was just charge more, it'll be fine. I'm like, okay. But then I probably didn't, and genuinely got people results and they were happy, but I don't think I really saw basically my value. I didn't think I was good enough to charge what I was charging. I think that's probably what it comes into. So that was the stage I joined in the internship, kind of doing reasonably, but not really with a lot of self-belief in what I was doing. I mean, money was I was doing pretty good money-wise. Things were okay with the family. It was more, I guess, my self-belief in that, where can I take this and how certain am I going to be to get where I want to be? And I think maybe it was the lack of certainty in my ability to keep it going or where it goes. So yeah, I'm the sole breadwinner in our house, so I bring the money. So I wasn't I don't feel like it was negatively impacting my relationships or stuff with the kids. I mean, at that time now, where I am now versus then, I'm definitely a better dad and husband than I am now than I was then. That's 100% down to the personal growth, self-development of the internship. So that's the whole stuff about, use the business, but then there's working on yourself. And Tim calls it woo-woo and all that kind of stuff, that stuff. And I'd never really been self-reflective. I'm I don't have emotions, I don't care about anything, I'm fine. But then sort of realising that you do, and the work and the growth that you have on yourself has such a huge impact. My wife now, she's like, if I could have just made you a bit better, you're better. I was like, oh, right. So it's and I think it's just being more self-aware about how you behave and why you behave and how you act, and understanding that deeper level of stuff, which is what I've always done with my clients, even without doing the internships. I've known that it's not just about eating donuts and doing some star jumps. It's about the head and where the head's at and helping them better understand themselves to make better choices and then be better informed in the future. But I'd never really applied that thinking to myself. Yeah. I am who I am, this is what I'm like. And then actually having gone through a process, and the continual process that I'm still going through, to look at yourself at a deeper level and why you act and behave as you do, that kind of unlocks other levels in your ability. Stuff now, I do a sales call, I couldn't care less if I get it or not, it is what it is. Yeah, so sales call before, I'd be confident in the questioning and what I'm doing and everything. And the second you got near the close where you're about to start talking about money, adrenaline racing, absolutely worried if I get it or not. And now I'm it costs what it costs. The investment, what it is, it's worth it. I am worth it. In fact, I shouldn't and will charge more, because you're ultimately changing people's lives, and that, I believe, is priceless. But I didn't. I'm saying it now, I believe what I'm saying. I could have said that a year ago, but I wouldn't have believed in what I'm saying. Does that make sense? And I think that's the distinction. But to get to that point takes a lot of work on yourself and understanding and why. And that I would have I didn't even understand any of the stuff I just said now. So now, for sure, me valuing myself and what I'm worth, and I understand my own worth, it fundamentally allows me to charge my money and believe in charging my money, not just to get my money out of people, because it is worth what it's worth, and I am worth what it's worth, and my team and what I sell is worth what it's worth. So what was the reason I joined the internship? I'd just come out of a previous mentorship, which was very, very marketing focused, all Facebook ads, that kind of stuff. And it had done all right, but hadn't quite delivered what I wanted. I felt a bit burnt out. It was really like bam, 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 salesy, but with absolutely zero personal growth and just here's a load of stuff to do and it'll get you where you want. And I felt a bit lost. I'd upped my prices, things were going reasonably, but I didn't have the self-belief. I didn't have any of the things we just talked about. And I was like, well, where next and what do I need? Coach I know, Danny, he joined and said, this course is amazing, there's loads of stuff about talking about yourself, it's blown my mind. So, oh, that sounds interesting. And it sounded more in line. And at the time, actually, I'd never felt any anxiety in my life. I had a time when I was feeling slightly anxious and I'd never really felt it before. And I just thought, actually, all this stuff about personal growth and working on yourself seemed to fit with where I was at. So it was like him doing that, me talking to Tim and then thinking, this is a bit different. Yeah, it's about growing your business, but also it's about looking inward a little bit and working on yourself. Because ultimately, most people who are one-man bands, you are your business. So if you don't ensure that what you do is rock solid and good, then everything else falls over. So what's been the biggest change in my life since joining the programme? I guess the self-belief thing, for one. Monetarily, like I was doing well, I'm arguably doing really quite well at the moment. On a yearly income basis, so far this year, I've almost made what I made in a whole year and half year, this year. And it's increased, not exponentially, but like the personal growth I've done and what work I've done, it's gone in that direction. So financially, it's gone really well. But then just the personal growth stuff, like being more present as a dad, being more engaged with my kids. I've had a third baby since I joined. I mean, that's not down to the internship, like, but very much more engaged and up for like that side of things, because the whole working on yourself, realise sometimes when you're less conscious about things, you just sort of operate at a different level. So I feel like I'm better at home, better with my wife, better with my kids, better in business. It's like having a fog lifted. You feel better, but you can't quite articulate exactly what it is, but you just feel like, oh yeah. For anyone who's looking at joining the programme, I'd just say do it. And that's the sort of stock answer, but it's because, like I've just said, it's changed my life on so many different levels, which I didn't really think before that. And the whole thing is, if you've never done much personal development and personal growth, you get a little bit of a taste of it and you see the impact it has, not only on your business, which is massive, but on everywhere else, and everything sort of fits into each other. So if you want to level up yourself, your business, your family, it's the way to go.